Hello, my name is Sam, and welcome to my pitch. The title of my project is Living with Dyspraxia, with the logline, An Investigation on Life with Dyspraxia. With this plan for my documentary, I will be able to explore the following questions. What is dyspraxia? What are the symptoms of dyspraxia? What is it like living with dyspraxia? How has lockdown and self-isolation affected those living with dyspraxia? To describe my project, it is going to be a documentary explaining what dyspraxia is, whilst discussing the symptoms of dyspraxia and exploring how the current situation regarding COVID-19 has affected those with the disorder. I want to make this documentary using my own personal accounts of living with it. This is because many people around my age have never heard of this disorder and often ask, is that like dyslexia? And while they sound similar, and some comparisons can be made, dyspraxia and dyslexia are two separate disorders. This tells me that dyspraxia hasn't been documented enough. It interests me to document the effects of lockdown and self-isolation on those with dyspraxia, as this has never been documented before, therefore adding something new and relevant to the little dialogue that there is. My primary audience is students between the ages of 20 and 24. I will be giving my own first-hand accounts of dyspraxia because from my experience not many people understand dyspraxia or have even heard of it, perhaps due to a lack of experience with people with the disorder since they are still fairly young. So my involvement should help to make the documentary very relatable. My secondary audience is parents who may have children with dyspraxia but do not know enough about the disorder. So, the information provided in the documentary could prove useful to them. As I have the disorder myself, I will be able to describe my own symptoms and experiences of dyspraxia and how lockdown and self-isolation affected my symptoms. I have a media production tutor from college who also has dyspraxia. She will be a good contributor as she can provide insights on what living with dyspraxia is like in later life. I also have the Dyspraxia Foundation who have listed emails to contact for press and media inquiries. They will be an incredible contributor as they can provide loads of reliable information on what dyspraxia is and all of its symptoms. My interview for the project will take place in my studio apartment, which is very similar to that of the provided photo as it is a room from the same accommodation company. I want my interview to have a 3-point light setup whilst pulling focus away from the background in order to convey that this is a very personal documentary. The other contributors' interviews will be done over Zoom as to keep to the government's guidelines and because Zoom allows for video recording. The schedule goes as followed. By getting a lot done in the earlier weeks, there'll be plenty of time for editing. The risk assessment goes as follows. COVID-19 has made many complications for filming. For example, instead of meeting up with the contributors for this documentary, interviews will have to be done over Zoom. By holding these interviews over Zoom, we are assuring that everyone involved is safe. As dyspraxia is a disorder, it should not be taken lightly. This means that the crew should be informed on what dyspraxia is to understand it better for the contributors who may feel uncomfortable otherwise. Thank you for listening.